The first question we start off with is, what type of writer do you want to be? This is a bit like going back to school and having the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it's something that for some reason we stop asking ourselves in general. It's almost like, who do you want to be, what do you want to be, is a bit passé and a bit not grown up enough. We are here to be writers and we're here to be our best individual selves. But asking that question, who do you want to emulate, is really, really useful, especially to understand the medium of writing, because there are so many different types of writers out there, all with their own unique style, but also within different genres, within different types of audience they reach. By focusing on an author that you admire and who you follow, you may be able to understand what audience you're trying to then reach and then adjust your style depending on that. For example, my favourite author is David Nicholls. I make no bones about admitting that or announcing it even. I think David Nicholls is an amazing author, but not just that. I really love the style he writes in. When I first read Us, not only could I not put it down, I used that novel as sanctuary in a way. I felt so warmed by the voice. I then looked at my own writing and my own writing style and what I'd been writing at the time, and I actually realised that wasn't what I wanted to write. I wanted to write something that caught the emotional and humorous and had all the nuances that I felt from David Nicholls' work. So when it comes to who you want to emulate, who you admire, we've put out a list of authors, and it doesn't need to be an exhaustive list such as what we've put together, but we've brought out names such as Eliza Clark, Jessica Andrews, Tom Crew, an array of different authors who've also done so many different things, and you can almost understand what type of writer you'll suit by understanding a bit about their journey. For example, Eliza Clark, originally published by independent Hackney Press, Influx Press, which is a great small press, and last year had success with The Trees by Percival Everett being shortlisted. But InPress is a small individual press, and Eliza found them because she was working at Lexia at the time, and she actually worked with Lexia to put on a mini showcase for independent publishers, and she used that platform to actually pitch her own novel to the guys at Influx, and they turned it into a wonderful book with Eliza doing this amazing prose and amazing story. And then Eliza moved to Faber, wrote Penance, and is on the grantors list of Best British Young Authors, which we'll talk about later in the course. But it's kind of understanding these authors and how their journeys have began and how their audience has evolved will kind of help us understand where we want to start, because you can't expect to sell millions if you're writing a very, very centric literary fiction story. With literary fiction, if you move away from the Booker Prize shortlist, you tend to kind of focus on a very niche audience. If you want to sell a lot of books and be a best-selling author, for example, like Jojo Moyes, then you will fall into a commercial fiction writer. And writing commercial fiction means understanding how the genre works, actually reading more authors in the mold of Jojo and say Marianne Keyes, and kind of understanding what that genre is about, what makes those novels so devourable. If you're working on the crime genre or want to write, say, cozy crime, don't put in a lot of police procedural work into that. And if you're not sure what police procedural is, but you're a big fan of Claire McIntosh and want to emulate her, then it's worth actually delving into what type of research you need to do and what broad understanding you need for that genre. This is not trying to discourage you, but it really does help if you actually get into that fanatic mentality of really trying to devour each author at a time, understand their back catalogue and understand what made their novel work, so you can actually apply some of those techniques to your book.